So what's going on today? Here on K2, we're doing a giant Glock 17, kind of a wall art thing. It's probably maybe about 18 inches large. It's kind of the first attempt at it, doing it in parts so I could fit it on the tray. Over here, we had some changes to our prototype of our new computer mining stand in PETG. So hopefully wrapping that up today. And then kind of the point of this video I wanted to make is what I'm printing here. See, it's pretty simple. It's actually just a wall pass-through. That kind of leads me to my point that I wanted to make in this video about the greatest thing about 3D printing is not printing small sex dolls or giant coffee cups to sell on the internet. That stuff's cool. But for me personally, the greatest part about it is the little knick-knack stuff that you need day to day, because I do a lot of work around the house. I just like tinkering with stuff. And so I'm about to put this in. It's a SwitchBot S10. I've had a lot of robot vacs over the years. I mentioned this in the other video, and I always throw them away or give them away because they're a pain in the butt to keep up. But this one auto empties, but this is what I really wanted it for. This is the auto refill and auto drain for the mop. So there's no changing out dirty water. Once it gets to this base, it empties the dirty water, it goes into the sewer, and it refills itself based on off the water supply. And so I'm putting it here. The other side of this cabinet, my kitchen, is the sink, the garbage disposal, and all that. So the hookups for the water and the drain, the sewer, are on the other side of this. And so I'm gonna just drill a hole through here. But I don't wanna just drill a hole and then put these wires through. I want it to be clean, so I wanna put some kind of like grommet or a pass-through into the other side. So I could go to Lowe's and buy one of those white plastic ones and put it there, but I wanted it in black. So, because this is black, I kind of want to just blend in. So I was like, well, I'll just 3D print it. I can have it in an hour. Lowe's doesn't open for 2 hours. I can have it fast. And so for me, that's worth its weight in gold in terms of 3D printing. One of the first things that I ever did in this regard many months ago, and I don't even use it anymore, and I haven't taken it off the wall, were these little brackets, and it was to hold a Govee light bar, because the plan was to put them all over our house. So we have like this ambiance of whatever color we want for the day, but ultimately I decided I didn't like it. And that was when I first got the 3D printer, and I'd never designed anything. And I was like, well, I need a bracket, specifically a specific size to hold this thing. And so this is like the first thing I ever designed. And I was like, wow. It just opened up a whole world of wonder to me. For example, too, is I wanted to keep my subwoofer off the floor under my desk, but it's like a very specific size. My desk has these, these are very specific size, so I just made a bracket that holds the subwoofer in place. So the examples of the things that it's limitless. I mean, it's whatever you need. So I imagine that most people that are into 3D printing are also like in the maker space, and I don't like saying maker space. That's just kind of a term that cropped up over the past whenever. But you like to tinker with stuff, you like to make things or figure things out, or you're mechanically inclined, it's a no-brainer. So like, if you're on the fence about getting a 3D printer, it's absolutely worth it. I'd maybe check out like the Bambu A1 minis or something like that, because they're like $200. It's a Bambu product. They just work. There's no tinkering with them. And I know a lot of people like to tinker with stuff. They want to build the 3D printer. They want to tool around with it. If you want something that works off the shelf, I mean, it's like Android versus Apple. I've heard it compared that way before, Bambu printers versus everything else. And I think it's an apt description, because you get a Bambu printer, it just works off the shelf, and you can still tinker with it. You can still swap out parts and upgrade things and do whatever. And most of that stuff's in the slicing settings anyway. But, if you're finding yourself constantly like, oh, I wish I had a bracket for this, or, I need a bracket for this that doesn't exist. How do I do this and figure it out? It just opens up a whole world of possibilities of things that you can do. And so for me personally, that's worth its weight in gold. And then you can get into doing stuff like, printing products to sell on Etsy. A ton of other people do it. Competition's super stiff because the barrier to entry is very low. But you have that opportunity there. You're going to get it anyway. So just buy a 3D printer. Go ahead and buy a good one. Buy a fast one. Don't ease into it. That's what I would say. I mean, because I bought an Ender 3 first, and if I hadn't had just kind of pulled the trigger on getting a Cobra, I don't know that I would have stuck into 3D printing, because the Ender 3 is so slow. I was just like, and like leveling it is just a nightmare. If I wouldn't have jumped in on something else, I probably wouldn't have stuck to it. So I would say get something that absolutely has auto leveling on it, but maybe just go straight for a Bambu, because like $200, that's nothing. You know, for a printer that works great. And if you got the scratch for it, go ahead and get an X1 or a P1P or whatever. So that's my suggestion. That's my thoughts for the day. Let me know what you want to talk about in the comments below. Let me know what you'd like to see me create and sell, because I like doing that. So I want to finance more 3D printers and expand this business project that I got going on. Be sure to like the video because it's a nice thing to do, and subscribe for more content like this. I'm The Technicals. See you next time.